Hello, fellow property geeks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for continuing to tune in. And thanks also for posing your questions and letting us know what you guys are interested in hearing. It makes the whole process much simpler and hopefully much more informative for all of you, which is, of course, what this pod is all about. Tom Atley from Trussle.com, the mortgage brokers, has kindly, and Tommy, you are very kind to keep coming back and letting me harangue you with all sorts of questions. But our listeners really do appreciate your advice and your guidance on all matters financial. I wanted to talk to you about sort of comparing and contrasting mortgages. So if they've got a mortgage, they're in the midterm, how often and how do they track whether they're on the right loan?
I think most banks and building societies now will allow you to use your internet banking and log on to see what your current mortgage balance is, how much you potentially have paid or overpaid on your mortgage. So it's certainly worth keeping track of where you are in your deal period. Every deal will have a specific end date. You don't have to wait until the end of that deal period before you can make any changes. You can speak to your existing lender or a broker just to see what else is out there. There are some online calculators. Trussle, for example, have a number on their website where you can see whether it's worth you paying off an early repayment charge to take a new loan.
So that can be quite simple if you get the right calculator in front of you to put in what the terms are, and it will tell you move now, or
it will tell you whether to move now. If interest rates are going up and you wanted to secure a nice low interest rate for the next 5 years because you've got no plans to move or borrow any extra money, and you read the newspapers and watch the news and they tell you that interest rates are going up, then it might be worth speaking to a broker to double check those calculations, make sure you've done everything right. But it's definitely worth looking at that.
I guess it's something that you shouldn't worry about sort of day in, day out. Because you need to get on with your life. But how often should someone check in on their mortgage?
I think, don't lose any sleep over it, unless, don't lose any sleep over it. But if something you read in the media or see on the news concerns you, then it's worth picking up the phone to your broker. Brokers love hearing from past customers and asking advice because it shows that we did a good job the first time. So don't feel like you can't do that. So speak to your broker, see what else is available.
And I suppose the flip side of that is you can't expect your broker to be picking up the phone to you every time there's a better deal. But how often, again, should someone perhaps expect to hear from a good broker?
I think the broker will definitely contact you 6 months before your deal's supposed to end. Some brokers might do even 6 monthly or annual reviews with you just to ensure your mortgage, as well as your relevant protection, life insurance, critical illness, is all up to date. If you've had any life events, potentially changed jobs, had children, done any work on your property, which means the value of it will change, it's worth then touching base with your broker to see if you can make any changes. I
just wanted to take a moment in the middle of proceedings here to say a very big thank you to our friends at Trussle.com. They are the sponsors of the whole series. Trussle were the first online mortgage broker, and they've indeed since been voted the best mortgage broker. Not just online, but the best mortgage broker. They are a hassle-free, fee-free way of getting a mortgage, and indeed they are the only broker with a 5-day speed promise. What would be the situation, or what would be your advice if you suddenly had a bonus at work or a company dividend, or your great-grandmother, heaven forbid, plopped clogs and left you 10 grand? What should you do at that point?
You should investigate with your lender and a broker what the options for overpaying the mortgage are. Overpaying the mortgage is a fantastic way of saving money. It's tax efficient as opposed to you do need to speak to a tax advisor with regards to putting it in a savings account or something like that, but paying it off your mortgage means there are no tax implications. You can and you can usually eat into that later on. So if you needed to reduce payments in the future, you had an accident or there was some reason why you couldn't make your mortgage payments, but you've previously made an overpayment, the lender's going to look more favourably and allow you to make alternative arrangements to do that.
Are there a kind of clever calculator online that somebody could use to show what the benefit of overpaying would be because it's such a long-term thing, a mortgage.
Absolutely.
And actually, if you pay a little bit now, I presume it makes a massive difference at the far end.
Yeah, it can snowball. Even just paying something as simple as increasing your monthly direct debit by £10 or £20 a month. That's £10 or £20 a month every month for a period of time, and that's also £10 or £20 a month less interest you're paying the next day. So it can have a massive impact on the term of your mortgage. So rather than having a mortgage over 30 years, you might find just by overpaying slightly, that's brought it down to 24 or 25 years.
Yeah.
There are also offset mortgages, which if you're not sure what to do with this money, you can put it in an offset account, which has the impact of taking it off of the mortgage balance, so you're not paying interest on that money. But if you need it again in the rainy day in 2 or 3 years' time, it's easy access. You can just take it back out again.
Good to hear. There are loads of options, and although it is complex, there are solutions, but you just need to know where to find them, or need to know someone who can help you find them.
Definitely, there's always solutions, and there's always weird and wonderful things you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, speak to a broker that can help you out with that.
Tom, really appreciate your coming again and letting me harangue you with these questions. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much.
Thank you.
A few words of warning. Your home may be repossessed if you don't keep up repayments on your mortgage. You may have to pay an early repayment charge to your existing lender if you remortgage. Individual savings may vary, and terms and conditions can be found at trussle.com.